Maybe I shouldn't have titled my last video that because if I remember correctly, right after that line is said in the Two Towers by the Urukai, if you don't know I'm referencing, it looks like, not me, but playoffs are back on the menu. Well, that's when Merry and Pippin essentially got away right afterwards, and then that entire group is completely overrun by Rohirrim. Well, technically they were outcasts, so I guess technically by rank they weren't Rohirrim, but anywho, yeah. That's kind of what this game felt like as we gave up not just the opening goal, but the first three there in the first period. Frustrating for sure, considering really how close to being right back in the actual thick of it for playoffs we are. There's still some game left. It's definitely enough to make up that ground still, but this is one of those very winnable against a team that is probably not as good as their earlier record in the season was suggesting, and a goalie that again makes whatever 35 plus saves against us. Yeah, wasn't for a lack of trying. A lot of the top guys were definitely mostly on their games. I thought team had a fairly strong game. At least was getting pucks on net. If you're frustrated, like for all the uh, wide angle or far away type spinorama type shots, that's kind of Timo's game. That's what he does. He's a volume shooter. He's occasionally going to have those net front plays or right in the middle of the ice between the dots type goals like he had in the last one, but a lot of his chance generation really comes from the just catching the goalie leaning one way or another, quick turnarounds, odd angles, just throwing the puck tight at the net type of plays. But let's actually talk about the goals against now. That first one is probably the most savable of the three. I didn't even really hate that one against Kalkinen, but it's a pretty decent play there by the Coyotes. I don't know who exactly is to blame here on the Devils, but there was a complete miscue in coverage. We had Holla down back by the net with both defensemen, and then both wingers were on the, I guess in this case, was the strong side. The puck got moved to the weak side of the ice. Coyotes essentially not really lost in coverage. He kind of just wasn't covered at all at any point, and he rips the puck home. The other two, I don't blame on Kokkinen at all. That was an absolute banger of a shot by the Coyotes on the second one on the power play there. Just almost picture perfect placement by them there. And then the third goal, was Nick DeSimone with the trying to no look pass. If you see it on the replay there, he never ever turns his head to the left. Now, does his eyes glance that way? I couldn't tell, but he never turns his head, and instead, constantly is looking forward and then just passes it. Was there a devil in that direction? Absolutely, but there was a Coyote much more immediately in that direction. And he's not even the guy that scores. Instead, obviously, you have to commit to that guy. Beautiful pass setup, essentially empty net tap in to make it 2-0. And then, oh no, that was 3-0. 2-0 was power play. So 3-0. And from there, the Coyotes didn't really need to do much. We won the second period, putting Nico Dawes in. Again, not really at the fault of Kokkinen, just trying to energize the boys, which it seemed like it kind of did. I actually thought Jack was mostly invisible in the first, and then really did come on in the second and third period. I thought Timo had a strong game throughout. Nico hit a post. I think Jack hit a post. We had Brat hit a post. Oh no, it's Timo, not Jack, that hit a post. So Nico for sure, Timo for sure, and then I think Brat was another one. That's how the games go. They had the empty netter, which I don't really care about. Thought Brat had a good game. Jack again silent in the first. I thought he came on a bit more there in the second and third. He still had the occasional Jack giveaways and stuff, but I'd rather Jack be looking dynamic and looking for the crazy plays and setups that he can pull off rather than ghosting and not trying stuff. Uh, Beyond that, we got the depth scoring last time. You can't expect them to do that again. Yeah, DeSimone is the beneficiary of a goal off of a pretty great setup there by the team, but we had our chances in this one. Man, there's not even too much to say. I thought Dawes came in relief and played a great game. We're right back at it with a less than 24 hour, I think Bill said 20-hour turnaround essentially from the end of the game to puck drop of the next. What game ended around 7 or 7:30. Then puck drops at 3:30. That's rough. Yeah, was it 18 hours? So, boys got to shake this one off right away. Quick turnaround, get right back at it in Vegas. What's there to analyze? It was a decent play by Coyotes. Again, it's the NHL. You need your guys to score. You hit 3 posts. Uh, Probably should have been more high danger chance generation, but they got shots on net. They hit they hit the posts with their high dangerous chances. The power play could have been better. Probably have to pot one on the power play there. That's probably the biggest criticism you can give here. You get one of those on the power play. You're not gripping your stick as tight for most of this game. Don't get the puck away instantly right in the front of your net on a no-look pass, I guess. Don't be on the power play in the first place. I'll shout this out. The one fight there by McDermott, sure. The play that led to that, the hit on Keller, that probably should have been a penalty against us. To be honest, we probably could have had a couple called against us that weren't. This is one of the few games where I feel like, Coyotes fans were like, yeah, we're winning, but we should be getting some of these calls. I hear you. I probably agree. Definitely should have had some called against us, I think, that weren't. So it's not like the refs really screwed us on this. Was there maybe one play that we could have gotten a call that didn't? Sure, but with the calls that should have gone against us that didn't, I'm not gonna be upset at that. So frustrating because the DeSimone play is there's no one other than him. There's no systems there. There's nothing to critique or call out. The power play goal, you gotta clear the zone there. But they know that it's just an execution thing. That's not really it wasn't a systems thing on the PK. It was a beautiful shot. It's not on the goalie. And the first one, that's probably the most critical. The one the goalie possibly had the best chance at, and the one that probably was more systems than execution, if anything. They're making some changes here under Green now instead of Rupp. I do feel like the wingers or the forwards got a bit lost in that. I don't think that was on the defenseman at all. So, yeah, and that was the game. They score 3 in the first period. They can basically sit back. So, yeah, we did take the shot lead and all that, but they didn't need to put too much risk in their game. Kind of similar to us in Dallas. We did it in the second period, albeit, but we sat back after that and turned it on. And in this one, we still gave up chances, even though the Coyotes didn't really need to do much. So, yeah, let's keep this one shorter as we're right back at it tomorrow. And hopefully a bit better luck on our end and around the league, as Detroit won. The Islanders lost, but it was in overtime, so they still gain a point against us as we lose in regulation. Penguins lose in regulation, so I guess that's one saving grace there. But there's too many teams ahead of us in this playoff race that you are happy that one team behind you that's even somewhat still in it also lost. So Buffalo's ahead of us now, but with the games remaining, we technically could still pass them on a point percentage basis if we win both of those games in hand. Or maybe is it just one now? I think it might just be the one with them being up 1 point on us. But Islanders, Flyers, Red Wings are all teams that we can still pass. Absolutely. We did not make it easier on ourselves tonight. So, yeah, I don't know. We should have won. So, but even with that, even if we miss, I'm always going to be here reacting to each one. And until we are officially eliminated, I will look at the pathway that's going to get us there. So, as always and forever, let's go down.